All right, we're good.
That's why we cut stuff out. We cut it like a clipper.
Like a clipper cuts, as opposed to like you would cut it like a piece of paper or something like that.
Or maybe like a boat.
Cut it like a boat?
Or a clipper. Which is apparently a type of boat.
Yeah, no, that's why.
Which is apparently what the basketball team is named after.
Which is much better than what you would use to cut fucking hair. I'd rather be named after fucking like an admirable type of like object, like a boat, like a fucking seafaring vessel, than named after what we use to give people haircuts. Anyway.
Hey, people take their self-sense of fashion and self-image very, very important in LA. Yeah, and LA is all about self-image. In fact, it would probably make more sense for it to be about the haircuttery item than a boat.
Yeah, and their biggest rival is the follicles. Fuck out of here.
My loneliness is killing me, and I must confess, I still believe. When I'm not with you, I lose my mind. Give me a sign. Hit me, baby, one more time. Hey guys, y'all know who it is, what's going on, when it's happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent Big Ugly himself, Omari Ellis, feogrande on YouTube, referred to by this gentleman to my side as Pete on this show, and I'm here with yet another episode. We are here with yet another episode of the Whatever We Want podcast, where we have new episodes every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern. And of course, I couldn't do this without the man to my side, my friend, my brother, my pal. You know exactly who he is. His secret identity has been exposed to everyone, so I'm just gonna simply refer to him as Superjaz.
Thank you, the man who is also sometimes referred to as Geotabi on Twitch. That's right, y'all. It is your boy, the other host of the show, Jazz, aka Superjaz, aka SJJT, whatever you want, what have you, and the like. And as he said, what's going on? Thank you for joining us for another edition of the Whatever We Want podcast, where we do just that, talk about whatever we want. We do not let the conversation lead. We do not lead the conversation. We let the conversation lead us.
I don't let the conversation do shit.
Well, no, that's the thing.
I'm just messing with you because you almost said we don't let the conversation lead us.
That's the thing. You might not let the conversation do it, but it just does it. You might not let it, but the conversation's like,
I'm the motherfucking
I'm the fucking conversation, bro. Talk about, oh man, I'm not gonna let the conversation like, bitch, fuck you mean let?
Times, Holmes.
Fuck you mean let? And then I'm over here like, conversation, calm down. It's not worth it. It's not worth it, conversation. It's not worth it. It's like, no, bro, I'm the fucking, bruh. Let me lead this, bruh. I'm the conversation. They over acting like I don't let two different dialogues, a dialogue burst out between two or more entities. Like, I don't go ahead and let people have a different, diatribe that is like not a soliloquy, but actually an entity that is two or more entities having some level of verbal communication with people.
Act like you don't know.
Some fucking conversation of this bitch. Anyway.
What are we doing? We just some time. What are we doing? Just angrily looking at the camera, threatening ourselves as if we were the conversation. And see, that's exactly what we're talking about. Sometimes the conversation just takes over. We go off on a tangent as if, we were an adjacent or an hypotenuse, but we are not. There are no triangular things here. There's only two of us. You need three for the triangle.
You The way you said that, you made it sound like we're turning ourselves like we're the conversation, but that's what happens. You make it sound like the conversation is not actual like dialogue, but you make it sound like the conversation is this entity that possesses us.
Maybe that is the third part of the triangle. You know, sometimes one of us presents a hypothesis or a hypotenuse for an episode. The other one has the opposite opinion, and you know, here comes the fucking tangent, fucking triangle to be like, bam. Then that's the conversation as it goes off on a tangent, completing the triangle that is whatever we want.
Oh shit, Pete! You know what that is? You know what that is?
Weird sound effect.
That's the fucking police.
No, that's you.
That's the police coming in to say break up. That's the joke police saying be funny. What the hell? No,
I'm funny, man.
No, you funny. I'm talking about that's the joke police coming in and saying come up with another joke because you keep telling this fucking hypotenuse tangent joke.
That's what I do though. Find a dead horse and I beat that shit till it's funny.
Anyway, speaking of sound effects, I forgot to do this.
Oh, hey, we could actually hear it that time.
Well, because neither of us were talking, and I spaced them out enough. So.
Fair enough. Sometimes it's like we barely hear it, just. Anyhow,
let me not abuse the FBI open up though, because that is obviously used for what it's used for, which is hard pivot from weird ass topics.
So I had a fun weekend last weekend.
That's dope.
I got to go to AEW Dynamite. Had really good seats there. Very fun show. One of the things I would say there were some two things that happened that I did not expect to see in 2021, and that was before the show went live. I got to see Big Show kill 3 people in a 3-on-1 squash match in 2021.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
To live see Big Show squash people in that. And I got to see fucking Goldust wrestle a fucking amazing match live in 2021. Two people I would not have expected to, see still in this day and age be like, yeah, I went to a show where Big Show and fucking Goldust was wrestling. And CM Punk showed up later that night. And that will be all I will mention about the wrestling before we go into a whole fucking other episode. We go to our third episode that's all about wrestling for the entire thing in like 5 episodes. Because we're not a wrestling podcast anymore. So I will say Sunday, though, I went to a football game. My first NFL regular season football game.
Okay. That's good. That's dope, by the way.
It was a dope experience.
I looked at some of the.
It would have been.
And my brother was.
It would have been a little bit. Would have been a little bit more dope if the game was more competitive. If
that's
the
what
team
I
wasn't there to root for didn't only score 3 points, and rather than tell you what team I was rooting for this past Sunday in Tampa. I was wearing this jersey.
For those
Bears jersey.
Yeah, for those who are not watching the podcast, then the Bears jersey.
It was a Bears Khalil Mack jersey. And so were both of my friends who went there as we sat there as they lost, scoring only 3 points against the Buccaneers.
Hey, Pete, for people who can't put 2 and 2 together, just out of curiosity.
Well, they lost.
Who was the other team?
I just said they were in Tampa.
So what was the team name?
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like
I just wanted you to say.
I also said they lost to the Buccaneers.
Oh, I didn't hear you say that.
I said as they lost to the Buccaneers.
I thought you were like trying to avoid saying it because you like didn't.
No, I'm like the team I went to root for while I was in Tampa on Sunday. And if anybody pays any attention to football to recognize names, Bears and Buccaneers knows what happened last week.
Who's the quarterback?
But it was still fun. An asshole.
No, what's his name though? I forget.
The only asshole in the NFL? Oh, he's not the only asshole.
I was about to say, whoa.
He's the main asshole in the NFL. He's king of the assholes. Tom Brady.
Okay, I just want you to say his fucking name.
I like how much of a Tom Brady fan you are. That's hilarious.
Oh, I'm a Tom Brady fan, bro.
Yeah.
I'm a
You're up here
casual
trying to rub
football.
it in my face.
I'm a casual football fan. I just like
Yeah, and
fucking.
so you're a Tom Brady fan, being a
I'm
casual
a
football fan.
I'm a
You
fuck
root
with
for the
Pete
people who
fan.
win all the time.
I'm
I
a fuck
see.
with Pete fan is what I am. I'm
Mm-hmm.
in a fucking with you. Anyway, I cut your story off.
But no, the game was still as fun as it could be.
Mm.
It was still a good experience. It was better than watching it on TV, that's for damn sure. But, being there live outside, it rained on the way in, and the majority of our clothes were dry halfway through the game because Florida, not all of them though. So we're still kind of wet because it's an outdoor game. But it is what it is. We missed the fourth quarter, but we didn't miss much. We went and got some Portillos afterwards, so that was cool.
Why'd y'all miss the fourth quarter? Y'all left early for traffic. Okay.
It was 38-3 when we left.
Okay.
There was no reason to watch the fourth quarter.
Did you check on the game, like what happened, just to see like what the final score was?
38-3.
Okay, so nothing happened. Okay, I got you.
There was an interception thrown while we were leaving by the Bears,
which furthered your like.
There were like 5 turnovers on the hand by the Bears on Sunday.
Jesus Christ!
And turnovers are when you give the ball to the other team.
Right. I know. Jesus Christ. God damn. Okay. So y'all went and got Portillo's after.
Yeah, it was good. My first time having Portillo's. It's a Chicago chain, mainly known for like hot dogs and stuff. Because Chicago, you're either gonna be known for hot dogs or pizza if you're definitively a Chicago thing. And it was hot dogs in this case, and they were really good. I think next time I go, I'll probably just get the chili cheese and the original Chicago style dog. Mm-hmm. But you know what I mean? I got like a special type of Polish sausage, but I didn't like the onions on it because the onions were like long strips of onions, and they were like thick, and like I'm like, this is too onion for me. At least the onions on the other stuff are like the chopped dice onions, and that's fine. But if I gotta eat the like stringy onion and it's thick and wide, I'm like, nah, I'm good.
I got you. That's funny.
Yeah. Like the onions used at like some sub places, like a Jimmy John's or something like that. They're also the strips onions, but they're really thin and easy to like bite through and chew and ignore. Like you get a little bit of that onion flavor, but it's not a lot of the onion texture unless you go for like extra onions because you're some onion head. But these, it was like, I'm really aware that I'm eating an onion right now, and I'm not for it.
It's like this onion is being very obnoxious. I'm gonna need this onion to tone it the fuck down with your little oniony ass.
Have you ever looked at like certain fruits or vegetables that are like around in nature, and you're like, I kind of want to take a bite out of this like an apple, but I know I'll regret it. Like it just looks fresh enough to where you're like, I'm gonna take a bite out of this like a fucking apple. But I'm not going to take a bite out of this like a fucking apple because I don't like this as much as I like apples, and I'm kind of mad on apples.
I never looked at an onion. I know you said fruits and vegetables in general. I never looked at an onion and said, I'm going to take a bite out of this like an apple.
I've looked at an onion like that mainly out of a curiosity thing, not necessarily a want. What would happen if I did this? And I'm like, no, that is massive regret. I've looked at tomatoes like that too, and I'm like, because you get like a real like red juicy tomato. It's like that looks like it should be good, but it's a tomato, so it won't be.
So it won't be. My mom, when she was younger, said when she was younger that she used to, like, I'd say young, like maybe late elementary or middle school age. She said she used to run track. And she said that one thing that she used to do when she was a little girl was whenever she would, have a little bit of like break time, she said she'd sit down on the grass or wherever they were, and they had onions that were growing from the ground. And she said she would pick the onions up and eat them, like bite into it like a fucking apple.
Ow.
And my mom said she did that. And she'd bite into that mug, and she said it was delicious.
Tougher individual than me. I wouldn't be able to. That sounds like
No,
instant regret. That
do
just sounds like instant regret. That's what I would think every time I was like, "What if I took a bite out of this onion like an apple?" It'd be that looks and sounds like instant regret. Just
Meanwhile, young Jazz's mom fucking did that shit. Apparently loved it.
again, tougher individual than I am. But then again, she's a mother, so obviously experienced more pain than I am.
That is some shit. That is something that I respect. You know, both halves, male and female, or you know, even people who don't like, you know, the non-binary, as they say. But I respect, like, you know, everybody for what we bring to the table. But I respect women in that sense because women go through a lot for childbirth that we will never even.
Oh yeah, their pain tolerance is way higher than a man's. Like,
in that regard,
that don't mean go out and hit them or nothing like that. Obviously, treat them like normal. But I'm just saying, they can withstand a hell of a lot more. They can withstand a hell of a lot more pain than they let on or anything like that. They are tougher than we are.
Man,
because childbirth's a thing.
And then my natural instinct is to say, man, no. but no, man, fucking
because you know damn well you try to push a baby out through your fucking urethra, you would not be able to handle that.
I will say this, if we're speaking just in a more scientific level.
I know it's not through their urethra, but that's the hole we have in our genitalia.
No, that's what I was saying. The vaginal, the vagina hole is much larger than if you tried to squeeze the shit out of a dick hole.
But compared to the size of a full-grown baby, it really doesn't fucking matter.
I'm just saying, you wouldn't have no dick left. And it'd be going down a fucking like little tube and shit. It'd be looking like a snake swallowed an animal too big. What the
Thank you for the imagery. But
what the fuck?
We would not be able to handle that.
You remember, and then when it finally came through the dick hole, right? You remember how on like Looney Tunes, when they would go to shoot the shotgun, but Bugs would stick his finger in it and it would like explode the barrel in like 4, 5, 6 strips. It'd be looking like that shit.
Ow! That's painful.
If you're not doing this, I'm telling you what y'all should be doing. I'm gonna toot my own horn a little bit for that one. That was like, where the fuck did I come up with that? Anyway, oh man.
So I talked about some of our. Oh, go ahead. Speaking of Looney Tunes.
Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
Talked about some of our would you rather's from the last episode. I was about to say, I might be spoiling this, but then I'm like, wait, no, this episode literally airs afterwards.
Your roommates, you like some of your friends.
I talked to a couple of them, and they're like, why the fuck are these even questions? Like the fucking lover one. Would you rather be alone forever or have somebody that you love of your life and she dies within a year? And they're like, how the hell is that even a question? Alone forever? No, you would not want to have the die in a year because that's just torture. And because they're the love of your life, you will literally love nobody else as much as them.
I'm the one person that said I might actually want to have the experience love for just a year.
But you will never experience it again to that level.
It's better to have loved never to have loved it all. Apparently, because I haven't met anybody. I've met people that I've had infatuations with, and been very, very liked a lot. I haven't had the love of my life yet, so I don't know. But that's what people say.
Same. And for me, like I said, I've lived the majority of my life, a hefty majority of my life, a large percentage than most of our viewers of my life on that never have loved at all side. And let me tell you, the grass is greener over here. The grass is as green as you think it is.
If I could play devil's advocate my client Lucifer. But no, if I could play devil's advocate for a second, you say the grass is greener, but devil's advocate, you, myself included, have nothing to compare to for the alternative.
Oh, sure I do. I have lots of friends who have felt and had that love experience and then had to go through the breakups and the depressions that they have to go into and all of that shit, and it's terrible. And they just sit there like this. And a lot of them, one of my longtime friends, I remember it was one of his first like real close relationships, and literally breaks up, and he quotes that phrase. This is back when Facebook was still prevalent. He quotes that phrase on his Facebook, like, all you people out there with your "it's better to have less is off and better to live off," fucking try it, and then come back to me with that shit. So I have stuff to compare it to because I've seen what everybody else does, and having, oh no, the worst thing I have to worry about is, damn, I'm bored. I'm alone at night and I'm bored. Damn, that sucks. Oh no. Move on with my life. It's like, grow up. When you are on that never loved at all side and you're like, I'm down about it, all you really gotta do is grow up and be like, well, look at the positives, and then you can move on with it. You don't need sex and stuff is not as fucking essential as people are. I have needs. I need to fuck. No, you don't have needs. You have a severe want. You have a severe want to fuck. That's all you want. What the fuck is wrong with you? What are you?
I'd be a stupid. You talking about sex.
No, I'm just like, why the moment?
Well, I played it once and then I remixed it a little bit just to make sure that everybody heard it. Because I was like, well, he was talking and Zoom kind of distorts the sound a little bit. It's talking, so I was like, maybe they didn't hear the first one.
Because I told someone at work.
We'll give a good 4.
Because I told someone at work like that I was single because it was around the time of my birthday, and they're like, "Oh, so you and your girlfriend got a lot of plans?" I'm like, "I don't have a girlfriend. I ain't got the money for that right now." You don't need to have money to have a girlfriend. I've heard that shit so many times. First off, you don't want a girl. You don't want a partner or romantic interest, a mutually romantic interest that's all about the money. Obviously,
right? Exactly. Yeah.
You don't want that. However, let's be fucking honest with ourselves. While that doesn't need to be the thing, you know damn well all of y'all can think of numerous times where you've either seen or thought your damn self when you saw a guy and a girl in a relationship, and I'm going to use the guy and a girl in a relationship because I don't know enough about the dynamics of the, both being the same thing or both being not a, whatever. So I'm just going to talk about the straight relationships and the dynamics set up with that. Because that's usually the one that's most stigmatized, because once you blur the lines with the other things, who knows? There's no real role to take in that. But damn well when you see a guy and a girl and that guy is not providing for her, the first argument everyone has is how much less of a human being that guy is for making her work that hard and spend money rather than him doing it. He's an asshole. You know damn well that's the case, but according to society, every time it's a less successful guy with a more successful woman, it's not so much like they're mad at her for being successful, they're mad at him for not providing for her in spite of her success. It's like, she needs to be successful too. Like, it's good for her being successful, she's strong, but the fact that that guy is just sitting there mooching off of that, he's an asshole. He's terrible. And that happens way more than the reverse. Yes, the term gold digger exists, but at the end of the day, that's way more accepted and way more common. You know what I mean? It's like, well, of course. And you have the arguments pro-gold. There's pro-gold digger arguments nowadays. Well, that's on them for letting her gold dig. She told him right off the bat, and she advertises it. Yeah. So it's... Yes, there is a stigma with the gold digger in the sense that there's a term for it, but it is still way more accepted than the reverse, than the gold digging male with the female. Therefore, you need to at least have some kind of fucking ass money to pay for something and provide at least in some regard if you are a man going after a woman.
We started to slide into dangerous waters. We can keep talking about this.
Dangerous waters? No, I'm not gonna sit here. Okay, for all you people calling me sexist, no, men have it easier than women in life. I'm not here to say that men have it harder than women. No, men have it easy. I am very happy I was born a man because I have the easy part in life. I have the easy path in life, and I will say that. Life is much more easier for me. Like I said, I'm not some fucking woe is me ass millennial. No, I am one that clearly knows that the only reason I'm not succeeding in life is myself. Okay? There. I said it. I said it numerous times. You want to call me scum of the earth? Fine. I'm the scum of the earth. Fine. I'm fine for admitting that I have faults. Oh, shit. Omari's such a bad fucking person. No. All I'm saying is I don't have a relationship. And because when she said that, I was just like, I don't have money. I don't have the kind of money to be in a relationship right now. So and then she's like, but don't you have needs? I'm like, there's more to life than fucking. There is. Oh boy, fucking. At the end of the day, what's fucking? Having an orgasm with somebody else so you don't have to go through the shame of having an orgasm by yourself. Congratulations. You're both just trying to have an orgasm in a way that's less shameful than doing it alone. You're just finding someone else to share a mutual experience with you for a variable amount of time. So you don't have to be like, I couldn't find somebody else to have fun, to go through a thing that's supposedly mutually beneficial like an orgasm with me. Oh, my life is terrible because no one wants to fuck me. Gives a fuck. Grow up.
You speak sometimes from such a, I think I told you this in other topics too, but sometimes you speak from such a bleak outlook on the world.
It's not a bleak outlook, it's a literal outlook. At the end of the day, what is a romantic partner?
I'm not saying whether
what is a
right
romantic
or wrong.
partner, male, female, or otherwise? What elevates you from like a BFF to a romantic partner? The fact that you guys are fucking. That's it.
No, most of the time, yeah, this is true. Yes, exactly.
Your wife or husband is a BFF that you fuck on a regular basis.
I'll give you that. I mean, there might be a lot more to it, but
what's a lot more to it?
No, I'm saying I'll give you that though. I'm saying there might be a lot more to it if we really try to dissect it right now. But in like the most simplest and blanket of terms, for the most part, that's pretty much it. It is your best friend, and y'all just happen to have sex.
But that's friends with benefits, which always turns into a relationship and/or breaks up the friendship if it doesn't.
I'm just saying, like a lot of like some of what you've been saying is like this is whether it's right or wrong. I'm just saying a lot of what you're like this is some bleak ass shit.
It's not bleak. It's literal. And again, that's just how the world is. The world is a shitty place. We live in spite of the fact that the world is a shitty place. Everything you do to improve your lifestyle does not improve the world. It's not going to happen because there are a lot more people out there than you, and a large majority of them are terrible. It is why the moral to damn near every fucking story that has ever fucking existed, even if the story is about like how man can persevere, at the end of the day, the real villain was man the whole fucking time. Like, it turns out man is terrible. Now, does that mean there aren't good people? Of course there are good people. That doesn't mean you should go out there and go on a fucking murder spree. If you think that is, then congratulations. You proved my point that people at the end of the day are terrible people, if that's where you jump to. Congratulations. Your only solution to fixing the world is, oh, I should kill everybody. No, that you're a terrible person just for thinking that, and thank you for proving my point that people are terrible. But at the same time, what I'm saying is you find ways to live in spite of it. Find people you like. Find things that you can like about life to focus on. But just because you decide to focus on things, like I decide to focus on the friendships I have with people of various races, rather than focus on the fact that racism is heavily prevalent and always will be. Rather than sit out there and hate life because there are people who hate me. Let me focus on the things that I like in life. That doesn't change the fact that, I can get stopped and have gotten stopped for the mere fact of wearing a jacket outside in Florida, a place that rains at random, so it's not as weird as it looks. Proven last Sunday, actually, with the fucking football game. We're walking to the stadium in the rain. I'm wearing a jacket over my jersey. I get slightly less wet than my friends, but damn it, I had a jacket with a hood on. Meanwhile, my friend who gelled up his hair, because he figured, why not? I'm going out. Now he's got hair gel, coming down his face in rain, and he's got to, try to keep the gel from getting in his eyes and blinding himself. When he could have had a hat or a hood on. Not have to worry about that as much. And pretty much that's it. I just acknowledge that it rains every fucking day. Do I still go to the football game knowing that there's a chance of rain? Yes. But that doesn't change the fact that the rain is likely. And I guess that's, for your bleak outlook on life, that's the way to be. That's kind of my explanation of that. I'm not so much, it rains and you have to hate life because it rains, but you can at least wear a fucking jacket and acknowledge it's a possibility while still going outside.
I think what it might be that makes, because the second half of the kind of rant, soliloquy, monologue, whatever that you just had just now, the second half of that didn't seem as bleak as the first half. And I think what it is, sometimes it probably makes it sound so bleak, is not even so much the word choice and everything, because the second half didn't sound so much bleak as it did sound just real. Like, that's real. And I respect that. That's fine. I think the reason what made the first half was it was just so much vitriol. It's let's say you were describing I don't know, a clown who was trying to be funny at a circus. Let's just take something that is just has no bearing over anything, right? And let's say the clown was trying, but he wasn't funny. So somebody might be like, yeah, he wasn't really that funny, right? Okay. Then realism might be like, he wasn't funny, man. Maybe he might be funny here, maybe he might be funny there. He wasn't funny. And then the bleak shit is, he wasn't funny. Nothing's funny. Stop liking clowns. Clowns ain't shit. So ain't nobody. That's what I was like, Jesus. That's what I mean.
I guess my thing is, in that regard, it's not so much stop liking clowns. Stop looking at people who aren't laughing like they're the weirdos.
And see, that phrasing is more of a realist. The bleak shit is when it starts being this is how it's gonna be and how it will be and how it has to be and there's no alternative.
But that's when
it starts to get bleak. I guess it just depends on in the eye of the beholder type of thing. Because if we go to the clown part, right? It could be he wasn't funny. I don't know why people even look at clowns. Stop looking at clowns to make us laugh. Clowns ain't even shit anyway. We shouldn't try to find our happiness from a clown. We shouldn't even really try to be happy. And it's
I didn't say no one should try to fuck. I said there's more to life than fucking.
My words are not directly correlated to
all right. Before people start putting me in the group with the fucking incels or some shit. No.
My words are not being
I have no problem with people out there who find happiness in fucking. Fucking is fun. Fucking is one of the best, experiences in life. It is the nirvana. That is fucking. Oh, goddamn. I found someone to share a variable amount of time with me so we could both achieve an orgasm, hopefully. And if I fuck up, my reputation is fucking ruined because they'll let this out. Yes, I get it. It's a highly stressful, it's a high risk, low reward, situation, but at least, damn it, you feel good about yourself. It's a good self-esteem boost to be fucking often. Congratulations. Enjoy your life the way you do. If your way of going through life, if the way you live in spite of everything is fucking, that's good for you. But for people who can find happiness in spite of not fucking all the time, let them be happy.
I don't know. Okay.
Don't go,
I'm not
but
gonna
don't
get.
you have needs? At the end of the day, sex is not a. I've always hated that whole. Don't you? I have needs. I cheated on my wife because we don't
Well,
have
that's
sex
not an
enough, and
excuse.
I have needs. Or the
That's not.
reverse. Okay, or the reverse. The women that go, I cheated on my husband
No,
because I have needs.
I'm talking about
But
anybody cheating on anyone because they say they have needs. That's not an excuse.
yeah,
That's
because
no.
sex isn't a need; it is a want. It is what it is. There's nothing that really is like, you have to
I
have
mean,
sex. Doctors say if you have sex, you had a healthy release because you don't have semen building up in your balls. Well, so is masturbation. Congrats, you still release the semen and you don't have it built up in your
no,
balls. So the only
it's a
difference.
it's a
Sorry.
natural humanistic like urge to want to have an orgasm wherever you feel that you fall in the gender like conformity or non-conformity, whatever. It's a natural humanistic urge. Well, no, you got people who say they're asexual, but whatever. Other than that, for the vast majority of a lot of people, it's a natural humanistic urge to want to have an orgasm, which is why the people who are not fucking, we still go around. I say we because I'm not fucking at the moment right now. We still go around and we masturbate. So it's a natural humanistic urge to want to have an orgasm, but
Yeah,
people
but
who try to say I have needs, therefore I cheated, that's not good. But if somebody said I had needs and therefore they wanted to try to get with somebody for other reasons, don't get with somebody just to fuck, but they want to get with somebody for other reasons, and then fucking was also included. There's nothing wrong with that
but
because single motherfuckers, we have needs, which is why we don't go too long without. So yeah.
yeah, and again, you don't have a need to fuck. You have a need to have an orgasm. The fucking is just so you have it without the shame of having to do it alone.
Well, that's a need to fuck. You just fucking yourself because you didn't find someone to share the orgasm with. You still had a need to fuck. You just had a solo fucking session. Still a need to fuck.
But the bottom line is, it's not something that you need to change your life around.
I can feel you on that one, but it's still a need to fuck.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, what's your favorite Looney Tunes? Go back to that. Oh, shit. Oh shit!
I don't even know how we got on that tangent.
What's your favorite loot? No, you go ahead.
I don't know how we got on that tangent. What was I talking about?
I don't know. We have to watch this playback and figure out.
That's an example of the aforementioned conversation going. No, this is where the conversation's going. This is where it's going right now.
The conversation, like we're talking about it being something that possesses us. The conversation possessed your ass.
Omari pisses off various groups of people as he goes on a fucking rant.
Oh shit. Well, where I was going.
Live your lives. Just don't ruin other people's because of it. That's, I guess, is what I'll say.
That's in anything, yeah. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
But yeah, live your lives as long as you ain't making other people's lives worse.
Right. I agree with that 100%. Words to live by. A very special, whatever we want. A very special whatever we want today, and then we play the credits with no outro music behind it, like they like they used to do on the like 90s sitcoms and shit.
Yeah, just the credits. Just the silent credits.
Yeah,
sequence.
somebody would like bring a gun to the fucking like the school or something, and be like, "Oh no!" And then like it'd be like 2 or 3 main characters, and then like the main 2 characters, like the dude would like jump in front of his friend to protect him, and he got shot, and he'd be like, and then it would say something like, "Gun violence is a violence to everyone," or some shit like that, and then it would be like the credits would roll with no fucking like music behind it and shit.
Yeah, just silence.
Right. And it'd be fucking serious as a motherfucker. Or it'd be some shit like
fade to
like,
black gunshot. And then just silent
the fade
credits.
to black gunshot.
And then just silent credits.
It's in slow motion. Like, oh no. And ooh. And then fade to black. You're like, you sitting there like, did he get shot? Yeah, it's some serious shit.
Silent
or
we'll see you next season.
or it'd be some shit
Some
like
season finale shit.
like let's say they middle of high schoolers and it'd be like, you know, white and black kids and shit like that, and then it's like some shit start going down, and then the episode would end after everybody learned not to be racist because one of the white kids would call somebody a nigger, and they wouldn't bleep out. It'd be like the one time that they let them say nigger on the episode, so that way you could get like the huge weight of it and shit. And then they had like this whole episode about them learning that they shouldn't say this word and coming together over racism and shit. And then it would still like go to the credits with no.
Damn! Anytime you go full Kitty Pride on somebody, that's not good.
Kitty Pride say nigger.
Ooh. She does not like being called a beauty, good sir.
Oh, you tell me that.
It only happened a couple times, but just reading it and just like some black dude, you're not a mutie, are you? I don't know. Are you a nigger? Damn, Kitty. Put the claws away. Anyway, and they're like, you can't say that. Well, have you ever thought of how the mutants feel? It's the same thing, which, no, it isn't. You know, IRL, because mutants are fictional creatures. But to be fair, in their universe, it kinda is, considering the fact that they're an allegory for things. And I actually saw a comic strip from Marvel recently where fucking Rocket Raccoon has some cops holding up a gun to him, like, who the fuck are you? What are you doing here? And he's like, I'm one of the X-Men. And then the next panel is a cop pulling back the hammer, click. And he's like, I'm one of the Avengers.
Man, yeah. For y'all who do not know, which I think everybody pretty much knows, that X-Men was it was an allegory. It was made purposefully. It doesn't just have the tropes. It was purposely made about racism in America, where the mutants were the black people, and it was during the civil rights movement, which is why Charles Xavier and Magneto. Xavier was supposed to be more so in the Martin Luther King. Let's win peace through our actions, and then Malcolm X was
Magneto
with Magneto, where it's by any means necessary, and it was like, you know, they didn't necessarily always agree, but they wanted the same outcome, but they pretty much did agree, and that's why they would come together and help each other a lot of times too. Which so to be a white man and put that in your comic at that time. Who was it, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby?
Yeah.
And for both of them to do that, that's crazy.
But yeah, that's what I was just saying. Like, so in their universe, yes, they are equal terms, but it's just still weird, you know, living in our own real life universe and just seeing Kitty just instantly, no hesitation, that's her response when some black dude comes like, well, are you damn, Kitty, calm down. I'm sorry that you were offended, but damn. Sorry, my computer got a random update available alert while we were shooting. Just had that.
Well, what's your favorite Looney Tune character? is what I was gonna say. I guess from the beginning. That's what I was gonna say.
All right, so that's difficult. There are a lot of good ones. Probably the Bugs or Daffy. I'm gonna probably say Daffy. Because growing up, I was more of a Daffy. And growing older, I've always been somewhat adverse to liking the main character as my favorite character in just about anything.
Hence why you probably were fucking repulsed by Goku.
I wasn't a big Goku fan for the longest. And, you know, now I'm fine with Goku. He's fine. You know, Kakarot's okay. But I wasn't really that big on Goku. Naruto, I did like Naruto more than Sasuke, but that's an anomaly in and of itself, because that character, Sasuke, is a character that feels like it was tailor-made to be a character I would like, but it didn't really click with me till like the end of the series. He's still not my favorite character in that series. Neither is Naruto for that matter. But Luffy in One Piece, I actually like Luffy a lot, but he's not my favorite. That's Zoro.
Did you like Robin over Batman?
At one point when I was a little kid, yes.
Really? Because I was like totally joking.
Because he was like he was the younger one.
Okay.
When I was a little kid, sure.
Robin over Batman?
When I was a little kid, for like very briefly, yeah, but at the end of the day, it's fucking Batman. And as I got older, especially when Robin went Nightwing,
Nightwing was dope. What were
mainly
them weird
when the
clubs he
Nightwing
had
thing
though?
happened.
Them weird like electro club stick thingies.
Don't worry about it. He had some electric sticks, batons.
Like
He
they
don't
had,
have superpowers, okay? He
I
gotta
know,
use something. He can
I know.
use weapons if he needs to.
They had no. They had a name. I forget what they call, but it was just a weird weapon. Like I'm like, okay,
They're
I guess
batons,
that
but they're electric.
I was like, I guess
He
that'd be
needs to fight superpowered beings. Let the man use his fucking shock sticks or whatever the hell they call
but
it.
no, Nightwing was the shit. Hmm. Now if you tell me that you like gear over static, then
No.
I'm gonna have to fly to Orlando just
No.
like Stewie did
I
on
keep
that
forgetting
episode.
I keep forgetting that he became Gear. But again, I don't hate all main characters. I'm not sure how you got to that
I'm fucking with you.
conclusion. But no, I said I was kind of main character adverse unless I'm like usually watching the series from beginning to whatever. Like it took me reading Dragon Ball from beginning to end to actually be like, okay, Goku's all right.
I liked young Krillin more than young Goku now. Nobody liked nobody liked young Krillin.
Well, some people like young Krillin.
I didn't
a
like
lot of Krillin's fan base out there like Krillin because they read Dragon Ball and they realize Krillin's OG and he's been around for fucking ever.
Touche.
So a lot of
Dragon
people
Ball
like Krillin. Hell, reading Dragon Ball helped up my appreciation for Krillin, if I'm being honest. Because the good thing about going back and reading a lot of comics is you get to see the character growth that you might not have known about. So it's like, hey, this character, I'm not that big a fan of them because of the way they are. But when you go back and you start at the beginning and you see how they got there, and you're like, okay, I actually am a lot more invested in this character. It happened for me with Scott Summers in X-Men, because let's face it, Scott is lame. He's just lame. That's the idea of him, but he's lame by design, and it works. And by the time they do start doing interesting things with them, and you're like, damn, that guy has been through some shit. I'm surprised he didn't snap sooner. It's more of a respect to him for like having the mental fortitude to be like, with all the shit and all the signs that Magneto is the right side of things, I'm gonna stick with the Charles approach. I'm gonna stick with that for 60 fucking years. Or no, 50 fucking years of real time before I decide, nah, fuck everybody. And then still do it in the most Scott way possible, the lamest shit ever. You don't, when you follow up a line like, no more Avengers with, I'm gonna ruin their reputation. Like he makes this big like Scott with the Phoenix Force is sitting there pissed off seemingly pissed off finally that the Avengers are now and humanity have done this shit. He's like, you know what? Fuck this shit. No more Avengers. And then the next issue they're like, so Scott, we fucking shit up. You got Phoenix Force powers. He's like, yeah, we fucking shit up all right. We're gonna ruin the Avengers' reputation. What? No, you see, we're gonna keep doing our shit, making the world a better place, and when people see the Avengers trying to stop us, they'll hate the Avengers, and then they won't want their fucking Avengers, and that'll lose their power. We're gonna kill them with their reputation. God damn it, Scott. Of course you would do this in the lamest way possible. Now, granted, by the end of that saga, it was literally every superhero on fucking Earth damn near versus Scott, as he's like, overpowered and shit, and he's like, and he, like, fuck it, I'm killing people. Or Eddie kills Charles Xavier. But still, just the fact that I'm like, of course you would do that in the most Scott way possible.
Well, I mean, a lot of times,
Daffy, to answer your question.
Yes. See, I hate to be boring, but I would probably say Bugs.
Bugs is fantastic.
But I'm saying like, and that's like without thinking too hard either. But no, Bugs is he's that dude. I was gonna say real quick before we go back to that though. A lot of times in stories, books, plays, movies, TV shows, whatever. A lot of times the lead is the most boring character. because the lead has to be the person that is the most relatable. And like, if you got a show where everybody can fly or everybody says like, wild, crazy, dumb shit, that person is not going around telling everybody fuck you to their face or, can, fly or whatever the fuck. So the lead is the person that usually doesn't have like all the crazy attitude and all that stuff. So we can see ourselves as the lead, which
Leonardo.
is why.
Leonardo, the lame turtle. The lamest of the turtles, even like if you include
people would say Donatello was the lame, right?
Would cut me off. Even if you try to include Donatello, you still have your sect of the universe, SCCT, sect, plural.
Okay, I'm glad you said it because I was
sect. I don't know how to fucking pronounce the word. Leave me alone. I'm not good with English, but divisions, sections, sex as in sex from that are like. Donatello's cool because he thinks with his brain. And he's actually smart. Okay. And blah, blah, blah. Also, he's the only turtle that only needs one of something. As opposed to needing two of everything. I heard somebody... I've heard somebody tell me that, actually. And I'm looking at him. You've actually told me that in the past. You're like, I like Donatello because he's the only one that only needs one weapon. Everybody else needs two.
I always liked Donatello for whatever reason, but I didn't realize I said that
to you. So Donatello is that, at least that appeal to him. He's the brains of the operation. Obviously, Michelangelo, the party dude, and Raphael, the angry one. Everybody likes them, more so than Leonardo, myself included. Those are my two favorite turtles. But he's the lame turtle, but he has to be, because somebody on that group needs to actually be a leader. Exactly. And level-headed. And same thing with fucking Scott's lame ass. Same thing with like a lot of characters in the battle series type things.
Get like Recess, right? The show Recess, where TJ, like he had personality traits and shit like that, but out of the main cast, everybody else had like their personality was like them. Mikey was the very soft-spoken, kind of shy big dude. Gretchen was the nerd. Vince was the like arrogant, like brash, good at sports dude. He was also the black one. That was kind of racist. I'm just being silly. Spinelli was like angry, all that shit. And Gus was the scaredy cat. TJ's personality thing was I'm kind of the leader of the operation. It's like that was the leader is the one that is usually not the one-dimensional. The leader is the one that's usually not like the one-dimensional or like whatever type of thing. The leader's thing is, like I said, they are the most boring out of whatever. So we can, and that doesn't mean that they are boring, but it's just like we have to be able to relate to them more. So,
there's less immediate appeal to him. Fucking Michael from Arrested Development, Jason Bateman. We were talking about him a while back.
Everybody else around him in that show was fucking nuts. That whole family was fucking like wild, stupid, crazy. What the fuck is wrong with y'all?
There are not that many people out there that will tell you Michael's their favorite character on the show. At the same time, I'd also argue that much like with Scott, there aren't as many people as you would think that would say he's their least favorite.
Okay.
Like, you sent me a tweet that somebody had this past week that said Jubilee's the weakest X-Man ever. And to that, I said, well, depends on what he's talking about. Because Jubilee gets a bad rap, given the whole, fact, her power is fireworks. She gets a bad rap as the weakest. Especially because the 90s cartoon didn't do her any favors. Like, at all. If anything, that hurt. It was supposed to push the character. It hurt her reputation more than anything because they didn't do shit with her in the show. But at the same time, everybody else on the X-Men team is a grown-ass adult that's had their powers for years. And Jubilee's supposed to be the kid that's now, oh shit, I'm in danger to do this. I just got these powers at the start of the fucking series. So she would take some time to get used to the powers just from a realistic aspect. So yeah, her powers might not do as much. But even in the comics, while she had her moments and stuff like that, they mentioned at one point in the comics, Emma Frost is like, looking at Jubilee and a bunch of other students her age, and she's like judging all their abilities, and she looks at Jubilee's and she's like, actually, because of these explosions that she can do, if she could actually has the potential to cause explosions at a subatomic level. And for those of you who don't know, when you split atoms apart, that kind of goes to things such as, I don't know, nuclear bombs, nuclear
bomb that can clear shit out for miles upon miles upon miles
so
upon miles.
she had the potential to be fucking ridiculous. And then M Day happened and she lost her powers and now she's a goddamn vampire. The bottom line is
Comics. Wow,
and now she's a goddamn vampire. So, which she's better than she was and more of a threat now than she was when she was, the Jubilee everybody knows. But the bottom line is, I'm like, she gets a bad rap. I can see his opinion, but she's far from the weakest. But if he's only talking about the 90s cartoon, which most casual adult X-Men fans who bring up shit like that are only talking about the 90s cartoon, I'm like, I can see his argument. I'm not going to be on this guy like, he shouldn't say Jubilee, he should say Skin. Or some shit like that.
Well, shout out to Av, who's the battle rapper that posted that, because I saw that and I was like, Av, one of the best doing it right now too, by the way. But I saw that and I was like, well, obviously this is a question that I need to ask my best friend about.
I've read a little bit of X-Men comics.
Yeah, okay. Who would you say is the weakest before we close this out? Just out of curiosity. Without going
as I ended the tweet that I responded to you with, that's a loaded question because there's a fuck ton of characters. It would be hard for me to think of something on the spot. I will say I'd say Skin is weaker than Jubilee. He was lame. Power? He could stretch his skin, not like stretch his limbs or stuff. He can stretch his skin. And he'll like throw it at you. But congratulations, if he used his skin, if he uses power, now it's just kind of drooping there and saggy, and he's got to fucking deal with the fact that he's got all the saggy skin laying off him.
It doesn't snap back?
No.
Oh, that's fucking dumb.
Not instantly or anything. It takes a while to go back to normal. Skin was lame.
Yeah. Well, hopefully...
Beak was lame early on. He was a dude who had a lot of the properties of a bird, including a bird's bones. But unlike Warren, he wasn't like, a fit motherfucker who looked like a fucking literal angel from the fucking sky with his big ass, beautiful ass, majestic ass wings. Right. No, he's literally got like a bird beak, some feathers. His bones were brittle as fuck. He was lame. Now, there's been alternate futures where Beak becomes a badass, but main universe Beak sucked for a long time. His biggest accomplishment was fucking this black chick that looked like a bug, or that had bug features, and having some weird bug bird babies. That said black chick got referenced in X-Men First Class.
Bumblebee or whatever her name was?
No, Angel. Actually.
She looked like a bee. That's right. Okay.
Her real name was Angel. So as to not be confused with Warren.
Well, hopefully y'all don't think, speaking of lameness, hopefully y'all didn't think that this podcast is lame, this episode is lame, or anything about these two hosts are lame. And if you would like to see the very unlamiest of the lame of the host, then you can go ahead and try and follow us on our socials. So if you would like to follow your boy, you can go ahead and find me on the Facebook. Go ahead and find and like my page, Superjaz. That would be all one word spelled Superjaz. Go ahead and give that page a like and give me a follow. I would appreciate it. Then you can also go ahead and find me on my Twitter, which would be Superjaz2. That would be Superjaz number 2. And then you can also go ahead and follow me on my Instagram under the page Forever Superjaz. The word forever, of course, is spelled correctly in front of Superjaz. And I am an MC. I do rap from time to time. I just released my debut solo album, My Secret Identity, on the 1st of this month, October. Actually, it might be coming out. This will be coming out after. So this will be, I released it on the 1st of October, excuse me. So you can go ahead and find My Secret Identity anywhere you stream music. That is My Secret Identity. You may have to put Superjaz in front of that to find it because I am not that famous yet. All right, Pete, Omari, where can they find you, my man?
Well, first of all, you know where you can find me. You can find me here every week, every Wednesday, obviously. You can also find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Giotavi. That is Giotavi. I have a Twitter of the exact same handle that tweets out a lot when I go live. Streaming every day in 2021. Jazz. There are less than 60 days left in 2021. Can you believe it? I won't have to keep streaming every day. Once the year's over. And don't get me wrong, I like streaming, but the streaming every day thing, especially now that I'm back to having an actual job, combined with this, it's like I'm working 3 jobs, only one of which I get paid for. So this is like
you almost done. Sound the horn.
So we're in the home stretch, but we're doing it. I just finished God of War, or I'm finishing God of War. Depends on when this comes out and what I've done on the stream. But October was Giotavi of War month, where I went through all the games in the God of War series. Having fun. God of War 4 takes a long-ass time because it's open world. So side quest hell, but at the same time, just focus on the story. You've already beaten it. Yeah, but they got this new game plus thing, and you actually get better gear and stuff. So it incentivizes actually exploring. So that's what I've been doing. Anyway, and I also am on YouTube at youtube.tv/feogrande, feogrande, as I stated earlier. Check it out.
Well, we appreciate you all watching. We appreciate you all listening. We appreciate you all doing both. We appreciate all the likes. We appreciate all the subscriptions. We appreciate all of the comments. We just appreciate you all in general.
True.
Now, one thing that I do appreciate is I appreciate my my fellow host, because he always helps me out when I'm not sure when I ask this question, because I don't ever know. But maybe you could tell me, my man, what the fuck are we going to talk about next time?
X-Men. But only if I want to, because we're talking about whatever we want. Adiosness.
Be nice to yourself, everybody. Peace.
What you say? You can't take it with you. I hope you gathered all the shit you need.
What the fuck?
Shirt off the back and some shoes that fit you. All that remains is the past. Lead.